Capital allowances. What are they? What are the tax benefits? And can you actually claim them on a HMO? Well, we answer that question on our panel members list right in this video. I want to talk about capital allowances. Hopefully you can explain what capital allowances are from your industry, if you can, if there is a possibility. But from a tax angle, people talk about capital allowances, and we've seen a couple of organisations, let's call them, whereby they said you can get capital allowances on HMOs. And pre-2012, 2013, this is a going rage. It was kind of, yes, get a HMO, you can get a nice capital allowances claim. But from 2013, interestingly enough, HMRC fundamentally changed the principles around capital allowances. And it used to be that on shared areas of any accommodation, you can claim capital allowances. And basically that means you can get a huge tax write-off. But in 2012, HMRC fundamentally changed it to say, well, anything to do with residential, which HMOs are, any shared areas, such as bathrooms, kitchens, cannot be claimed at all. And in fact, the only area that you can claim is the stairway. That was pretty much it. And there's been several, we work with a company called Six Forward. So anyone's looking for a good capital allowance expert in the world of tax, we refer quite a lot of work to them because they know what they talk about from a tax. Fundamentally, they established 3 cases whereby landlords being taken to court by HMRC, and HMRC won every single time. Because of the said accountants that said you can claim capital allowances on HMOs. So to be very careful when it comes to capital allowances and bogus claims, marketing claims from accountants that are using out-of-date legislation to say, hey, here's a legislation piece of reference, this is all the things you can do, when it's fundamentally out of date by about 6 years. More, obviously, now. But Wayne, from your perspective, you can claim capital allowances on commercial buildings and service accommodation, that still exists. But when do you get involved in capital allowances or anything like that from a surveying perspective?
Thanks, Simon. The key thing is, you mentioned it there, this is a complicated area that changes rapidly in theory annually every time there's a budget. So from a surveyor's perspective, we don't generally get involved in that kind of discussion about capital allowances for that reason. So if anybody wanted me to advise them on it, I would put them to you, to be frank, as an accountant. And I think anybody who's dealing with that, I was chatting to a chap the other day who was talking about how he was offsetting 2 different companies and capital allowances against VAT, etc. And it was really complicated, the things he was trying to do without any specialist advice. And I've referred him to you because it's an area that if you get it wrong, you could go to prison. You could lose a lot. So don't play with it. And if a surveyor gives you general advice, then I would suggest you back that up with some formal advice from somebody like you, Simon. So I'm going to back out of that answer and hope that's sufficient to give a surveyor's answer.
No, that's good for me. That's good for me. I think it's just people should be warned about it at the minute. Like I say, we've had 3 clients approached by this one company. I'm not clearly going to be saying who they are because I just don't think that's professional. But if you are getting people approaching you about HMO capital allowances, please stay away from them. Bronwyn, what's your thoughts?
Well, I've got HMOs and I've got guest houses. So it's the guest houses, the commercial property that you can claim back. And one of them is a 26-bedroom short-term accommodation property, pretty big. The amount of capital allowances, of course, for all the shared areas, the heating system, the CCTV, it's massive, massive. So I think we were talking about £200,000 of capital allowances that we could then spread out over a number of years because you can go back and claim them. Now, you know, somebody in that property may claim them in the past. So what you have to be careful of, you know, is that, you know, you can't you can only claim them once. So for us, what we did was because the previous owner was a charity, they wouldn't have been able to claim. So it was pretty straightforward for us. We were, you can deal with an expert, of course, and I have an expert if anyone's interested, and he was able to check and say, yes, you can claim them. And it costs us a bit of money, of course, But hey, you know, all that offset was extremely valuable, especially in our first few years.
That's valuable. I think in terms of anyone listening out, capital allowances is still a good thing to do. Just make sure it's on the right type of properties. That's all I'm asking you to do, guys. That's all. Please note that we have a couple of events that we think you should register. The first one is the Property Expert Panel. And on that panel member list, we have a mortgage broker, a property mentor, a tax advisor, which you would have guessed it is us, the NRLA, LMPG, and a surveyor. So make sure that you ask your property investment and your property development questions to our panel members on the first Monday of every month. The link will be appearing below this video. Make sure you also list for the Property and Business Tax live Q&A with Louise Mishevich and Simon Mishevich, the co-owners of Optimize Accountants. You can ask them any question you would like live on our stream, and that is on the third Monday of every month. Again, the link will be appearing below this video.